We're starting off high.
We can get
I
a two fools agree on that one. Oh, by the way, look, we got the wide shot.
There was you had accountability. Now what I can
Now all you need is a podcast and a YouTube channel.
No, not even.
Where give me the money. Show me the money.
Apparently there's a Foolproof page.
Shoot the J. Shoot it. Live on Facebook.com/Foolproof Entertainment Network. I need you on Twitter. I need you to repost the Facebook pages.
To raise a human before I would
trust a human to raise back wolves.
before I would trust a pack of humans to raise wolves.
Right. I hear you. Yo, welcome to another episode of Do Fools Agree. I am your host, Michael Reggie, as always, here with my main man, Clifford Jordan Jennings. How you
that
doing,
would be
sir?
me.
That would indeed.
I'm all right.
I'm gonna
wake up.
I'm gonna start us off with a quick inadvertent thought.
Uh-oh.
I hope we don't fuck up the audio tonight, because my mom is not listening live because she's watching my child for me. So we don't have our fail-safe in place today.
The fact that you said that lets me know the audio must be working correctly.
Did you see that little hesitation right before we flipped over where I got quiet and I went back to the screen?
No, I didn't.
I had to double check. I'm like, uh-oh. I don't have my backup. My backup production squad. Thanks, Mom. But she's in town this week, so.
Oh, no, that probably fucked shit up.
What's that?
I wonder if I was in Streamlabs under Do Fools Agree if it would show me your settings.
It might. I will tell you, so if you're talking about like the audio issue that we have in terms of not being able to hear the theme song play.
No. I was
okay.
talking about like see if it was still muted or not on.
Gotcha. So you could see. Yeah, I don't know if you can have two instances running
for the same,
at the same time.
That probably fuck shit up.
Yeah.
Wait, but didn't you say something about it inadvert? Oh, that
was my inadvertent thought. Like, I hope I don't fuck this shit up today.
Don't try to be cute. Don't try to be cute, baby. Give me something real.
I did have another one that was a little kind of or inadvertent. That's the topic, right?
Uh-huh.
I have had an inadvertent thought around like different restaurants that aren't necessarily known for something, but it's what you like from them. So the example and the reason this came up was I ended up ordering Spaghetti Warehouse for my mom and Andrew tonight, so that I didn't have to make dinner, and so that I got my mom something to eat, right?
Right.
And she's a picky eater. And it comes with the bread and the garlic butter. And I like the garlic butter from Spaghetti Warehouse more than I like any of their real food.
I don't know if I've had. I know what you mean, though.
It's like the Cheddar Bay biscuits at Red Lobster.
Right.
Now, Red Lobster's kind of known for the Cheddar Bay biscuits, but that's not like their cuisine. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I was trying to think of what other places have something that they're not really like known for. But
that's a good one, sir. And you didn't put me on the spot.
I did.
I'm having some of that Presque Boo right now. Because I know a few. When you said Red Lobster, though, you kind of, that was where my mind was going.
Yeah, but I also think that's what everybody would say, Red Lobster and Cheddar Bay biscuits. You know what I mean?
But you can do that. You can do that with a lot of people's bread.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Logan's used to have them rolls, and they had that cinnamon butter that they would give you with it.
There used to be a soul food joint down on Main and close to downtown called Bread and Butter.
Oh, I
And
never
their
heard of that.
rolls, they would like melt in your mouth. They were so
For
good.
real?
And the
Where
soul
were they?
food was good too. It
What?
was like smothered pork chops and shit. Where were they?
You know I don't do the pork.
I know. Uh,
I miss
do you
it.
know where Clean a Car is down there with the
Mm-mm.
K's? It's down by like Maine and Grant, not too far from Grant Hospital.
Where the Donatos
Yeah,
is?
yeah. It was about 2 blocks closer to Old Town though.
Okay.
But it was in some like weird industrial building, and like really it was because she ran her own catering business, but she would basically serve lunch
All right.
parallel to the catering business, and
So
I
people
don't
didn't
ever
really
what
know
happened
about
to
it
her.
like that.
No, and honestly, I don't know. She probably is still running the catering business unless she's retired. Now this was also 10 years ago, so.
All right, right.
And then my boy's still over there on Main and Champion with B&K. That's my spot.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, I feel bad because we used to go like every other week. We were like the white folks that would always be in there. And James was always cool with us. James loved us. He's the owner down there, and yeah, I feel bad because I think we've only gotten them like once since we moved.
It be like that sometimes.
It does, but I like supporting those kind of businesses because
Right.
otherwise you run out of soul food.
Or you gotta get it. Or you gotta get it from your local dealer.
That's true. The other joint that always goes under the radar, I feel like, in Columbus, and this is one that I don't know if they're still there because I haven't been there in years, but Creole Kitchen over there on Mount Vernon Avenue.
I think I know what you're talking about.
That spot was fire. Like the only thing I ever got was like the fettuccine andouille, but whoo boy,
I think it
had a kick to it. It was all crawfish. It was all Cajun shit. It was amazing.
I think I know what you're talking about. I never really ventured.
No.
Gotta be in the mood for shit like that.
That's true. I don't disagree with you on that. And it's not like quick and easy usually. Like
Right.
It's one of those like restaurants where you can go in, you can order, you have to wait for your food, and then you can leave because there ain't nowhere to sit.
Right. And it's not
basically the same way.
And it's not cute food either.
Mm-mm.
You know what I mean? It's the kind of food that sticks to your head.
Oh yeah. All the grease, everything.
Right. People smell you like, where you come from? But you have your fingers in.
Smelling like you've been blackened.
That's my favorite question. I think I've asked that on the Hit the Showers podcast in the past week. What you had your fingers in?
Oh man.
Oh shit. God bless me, something's wrong.
Well, speaking of Hit the Showers, hopefully you guys get to debut a new logo on Saturday. We'll see if it works.
It'll work.
If nothing else, you know how to do it. Yeah, what you got?
Yeah.
Since we jumped right in and didn't even ask each other like, "How was your week?" Or
Right.
We just said, "Fuck it, we're going."
Maybe because it's not
Friday. It's not over.
Right.
Right.
So we might be jinxing ourselves. Like, yeah, it hasn't been a bad week, and then here comes Friday.
Well, you know what? What was nice on my end for tomorrow was that half the meetings on the calendar in the morning were all my meetings, so I canceled them all. I did it for the benefit of the team.
Right.
Because I'm trying to go to Allegheny State Park tomorrow. So
is that a job thing?
What?
Is that a job thing or is that a you thing?
That's family. That's personal.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's what's up, though.
So it'll be good because we go camping there every year, and we didn't get to go last year. Yeah, it's the Memorial Day trip. So.
Yeah, I knew that.
All right, sorry to cut you off. What's your inadvertent, man?
Oh, that movie on Netflix. You seen that new one, The Army of the Dead?
No, but I've heard I've heard mixed things about it. It's been a big topic of conversation in the entertainment podcast sphere.
It has. It led me to an inadvert. First of all, the movie was, without spoiling anything, it was the equivalent. No, I guess I couldn't quite say that. I guess I could without saying the movies were.
Okay.
So I got the equivalent feeling of a Mortal Kombat.
Okay.
And not with the anticipation or anything like that, because nobody really knew that was dropping. It just kind of came
just
out.
Kind of showed up, yeah.
But just the like it was good, but it wasn't. I wasn't satisfied. Like that wasn't. And it's not because the movie's long. It's 2.5 hours long, but it's just like the ending and everything. I was just like, eh.
Yeah. I mean, that seems to be like the theme. Like nobody seems to be able to land an ending for their lives.
I mean, it was a wild one, I guess you could say, but it was still and you know what? I don't know. Do they make money off like that off of Netflix movies that they drop?
That's always been the age-old question with Netflix is do they actually make any money outside of basically subscribers? Now, they also have like something crazy like 48 million subscribers or something stupid. And then, so basically when they raise your price like $1, just think about what that is amplified in terms of how much money they have.
Oh, no, I completely understand that. I was just thinking about it in terms of how do you know if you got a hit? You know what I mean? Because you're not collecting revenue from that specific thing. So it doesn't quite drive you to do.
So it's not a revenue. Right. They do track total views now, whether or not what they share publicly on that. Like the problem is that they count anything that's more than like 30 seconds in as a view.
Right.
And so theoretically, they're using that kind of data to decide what kind of content they're going to create next. You're right. They're not making money off of it per se. But if they have more content that is like whatever seems to be hitting the masses, that probably translates into more subscribers.
Right.
So that's kind of where all that math comes in. I mean, Disney Plus is doing the same thing right now. Is they're trying to find those things that hit the right beats in terms of pop culture, nostalgia, blah, blah, blah. And that's kind of what their programming is all based on.
Okay.
So what was the inadvertent? Did we get there?
Oh, it was just the fascination with zombies.
Yeah.
I still to this day don't know where it all comes from.
So I understand what you're saying. I think when it got real popular in like the late 2000s, early 2010s was when it kind of like zombies were everywhere. Like everything was something about zombies.
Right.
A lot of the philosophy around it was this is the whole art reflects life, life reflects art. And people were feeling like zombies because they really had no control. You were in the Great Recession. You couldn't get a job, couldn't make money. Like your life was kind of out of your hands at that point, and people were feeling like they were just going through the motions, kind of. At least that's the cultural.
That's what you think
behind like why zombies are popular. Vampires have always been popular in times where the other is a bigger threat.
What's the other?
Meaning, the other is a literary concept, meaning somebody who is different from the readers. So minorities, or coming out of September 11th, the fear of Middle Easterners, Muslims, etc. So that's why you saw Twilight. That's why you saw. Yep. And so a lot of it comes back from that. And that goes back, like, even Bram Stoker's Dracula was written for basically the same reason in Victorian England.
So what about Aliens?
Aliens is a good one, because I don't know that I've ever seen the literary construct behind Aliens. Like,
is that
I've seen it for zombies. I've seen it for, well, maybe.
Because I think about the Orson Welles, the War of the World, and, like, people saying that the only thing that unites the people is a bigger threat.
Right.
Like, do you ever see that in...
Well, and War of the Worlds was when?
Which one, the original
The
or the
original.
weak ass Tom Cruise joint?
No, the original. Remakes. I don't know fall into the same categories because that's Hollywood being stupid.
That was Tom Cruise, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think you're right. 1938. So that
I knew
was
somewhere around the 30s. I just didn't know.
And 53 was the film. So the 53 film, I mean, that was golden age, right? That was coming out of World War II, the boom of kind of the 50s and 60s. 38 was what, coming right out of the Great Depression. So to your point, like unifying, I don't know.
No, it wouldn't have been unifying.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a tough one. But I am curious. Now I'll have to do some research in terms of what do people say the literary construct is behind like a period of time when aliens are in the zeitgeist.
I don't know. I mean, at the same time, I feel like how many people are writing behind the literary construct of things.
No, I hear you. I just think it's interesting when you see like multiple things pop. Like the other thing you saw pop coming out of like the great recession of, you know, the 2000s was you had the dystopian novel, like the dystopian young adult films and books were through the roof. You had all the Hunger Games, you had all the Maze Runners, you had the Allegiant and Divergent series. What was the other one? There was some other one in there. But same idea.
Right.
Like, in situations like that, like, yeah, the imperialistic powers had taken over, and that was kind of showing the danger of letting that go too far. Which I think it's interesting. I think that's also part of the reason why you see so much like civil unrest now is, I mean, you've had a generation that grew up on zombie apocalypse movies and you know, dystopian young adult books and movies too. Like,
right,
they're ready to fight back.
I can't remember who was. I asked that, and they said, "Cause I think people deep down want to go back to that simpler of a time." And I definitely could relate to that. Not necessarily zombies, you know what I mean?
Right.
But I got a news flash for motherfuckers. If that takes place, everybody doesn't get to be themselves in that situation. Some of y'all motherfuckers is gonna be the Walking Dead.
Right.
Now, me, I'm not gonna, you know, say by any means anybody could prepare for any situation like that.
No, but I mean, there are some people that don't make it out of that situation.
Right.
And there are some people that would do some dark shit to ensure that they were the ones that made it out of that situation. That goes back to, you don't got to be faster than the bear.
I gotta be faster than the motherfucker.
I gotta be faster than him.
Listen.
And guess what? I'm not looking for a fair fight in that scenario.
I mean, but in that scenario, that's not a.
I already told Shar I'm throwing Louis to the zombies. Like, bye.
I mean, you would have to, because that little bastard would be barking so fucking
never
much.
Shuts
You
the
wouldn't
fuck
be
up.
able to go. You wouldn't be able to go anywhere. Yeah, no, but I mean, in that situation, it's not necessarily the bear, because you think if a motherfucker doesn't move like that, honestly, strength is in numbers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Depending on how you plan to move.
Right.
Now, the guy like me, like I said before, I don't know if I would be the Walking Dead guy.
What do you mean by that?
Like, I don't know if I'd be the guy living in your sanctuary. I would be a Daryl.
The lone wolf.
I'll be close enough to hear, but I don't want to be with y'all.
I already told you, man. We're going to the island.
Listen.
Heading cross country, and we're going on the island.
That would be the smartest thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, if the world hit like that and motherfuckers knew your island, you would also have to have the means to defend it as well.
That's true. It's true. Well, and at that point, the key there is that you get, it has to, like the island my mom's on, there's no roads that connect to that island. The only way to get there is by ferry. And so the only thing that you do to secure it is you pull the ferry. Like the ferry stays on your side.
Yeah, you have to pull a captain, what's his name?
Mm-hmm. I'm the captain now.
Right. Yep. You have to pull one of them.
Was that Captain Phillips? I'm trying to
remember. Mm-hmm.
It's not Phillips.
Was it Phillips?
Oh,
I'm thinking of Tom Cruise. So
no, it's Tom Hanks.
Or not. That's what I meant. That's what I meant. I said Tom Cruise before.
I'm the captain now.
I can't
think it is Phillips.
It might be Captain Phillips.
See, damn it. I know I gotta stop bumping this mic though. Yeah, it's Captain Phillips. Right.
Is it?
Schmodown, point to me.
Yeah, you got that.
Oh.
Where were we at though? Oh yeah, but yeah, no. What was the literary construct for zombies? You said.
I said it was basically feeling like, yes, coming out of like the Great Recession, the Great Depression, people felt like they couldn't advance. They were just stuck in the same rut and couldn't move because there was no opportunity, right? There was no money, there was no job. Like, and our generation in particular, whether you went to college or not, that period of like 2007 to 2009 or 2005 to 2009, whatever. It was 06 to 09, somewhere in that range. Like, people our age was basically transitioning from youth to adulthood, and there was nothing you could do. Like, a lot of people were underemployed at that point. A lot of people couldn't get a job. A lot of people turned to some dirt or turned to other things, and
that's
why zombies came.
Sounds to me like the niggas was the zombies.
Fair point.
Black folk was the zombies.
Well, white folks were feeling the same way, which is why we had to come up with zombies and shit.
Like, yeah, well,
we're living like the blacks now.
Listen, so now the blacks are the zombies, and we're the what do you call them? The
vampire, the other.
Nah, the dusty revolutionary inhabitants of the new world.
Well, you know,
like, we ain't got shit, but at least we ain't zombies.
That's true. Viva la revolución.
Viva.
So you got anything else on your inadvertence?
I would like to know what it was before we move on. I would like to know what it was for aliens. That's very interesting to me.
Well, that's where I was thinking.
Maybe they don't use aliens because they like that motherfuckers is too real. That's hitting too close to home. We don't have a literary construct for that. This is real shit.
That was last week's topic. No, I almost feel like it is aliens become a thing like when there aren't other major problems to solve. Because at that point you look beyond what is known. So like in periods of peace, I feel like aliens are more to the forefront. Like think about the last like big alien boom was like the mid to late 90s, right? Coming out of Desert Storm and before the War on Terror. We didn't have anything else to focus on, so we looked to the skies.
So how do you explain Signs?
When was Signs?
I was like, what, 2001, 99,
which
2000?
Means, even if it was 2000 or 2001, means it was in production during the 90s.
Right.
So that would still fall into what I'm saying. Periods of peace, we look to the skies. We look to the aliens. Right now, things are just like, to your point, we've had the talk, like, everything right now is just vibrating at an ultra-high frequency, so who knows what the next fucking thing to happen is going to be. can't keep up. The vibrations, the universe is out of alignment right now, and it might just be an extinction event.
Or maybe it's right in alignment. That's what I'm saying. You know, everything has to line up for a sniper to take his shot.
True.
You know, maybe it's not out of line at all. Maybe it's right in line.
I guess. I don't know.
I mean, it depends on. Hopefully, it's not
it's all your viewpoint, right?
Shot, or maybe it is.
Well, and the thing is too, like, so, and I hope I don't get this wrong. Moore's law is a law around computing power that basically states the computing power doubles every, it's either 2 or 5 years. I can't remember which one. But at that point, you are starting to hit the point where you are hitting exponential technological growth, which is why, like, if you think the last 10 years of technological advancement is crazy, wait till you see the next 10.
Right. Right.
And I feel like that's what we're on the precipice of now and you're going to see a lot of people that just get left behind who can't keep up with it. And a lot of people that insulate. That's actually a big part of the reason why you're seeing a lot of like isolationism right now is the fact that the world is moving faster and faster to a global state. And there's nothing we can really do to stop it at this point.
You know how I know you're right?
How's that?
Because I was working today. And remember I told you how impressed I was that I learned how to type without looking, right? Mm-hmm. Now I realize that I can type and talk at the same time.
And not be talking about the same thing.
Right. Without exactly and successfully type out my shit while like I'm speaking. And I said, now this, and the crazy thing is I didn't even look at it as a good thing. I was like, now this is fucking crazy how they're programming you.
Right, because you're running on autopilot on one half of your brain and the other half of the brain is engaged in whatever conversation that you have to think on the fly. Which also makes you wonder, like, if I can train my brain to do that, why can't they train a computer to do this part for me? And that's where you get into robotic process automation and where you're
But at the same time, then the motherfuckers, then it would really be what I talked about, where we all got to go after rich motherfuckers because it's not that they would share the wealth and pay.
No.
And they're already not paying taxes on it as it is.
No doubt.
So you'd have to start going in houses. You'd have to start going in houses.
Yeah. And I am fully in support of the if you make more than 500 million, you got to answer to the people.
Listen.
Or else we reserve the right to fuck you up.
All right.
What was that? Mad Real World?
Which part?
I feel like they say that to Chad at some point where it's
he
like...
said,
But in the absence of that, we reserve the right to fuck you up.
Right. That was Dave Chappelle.
Right. That's what I said, Mad Real World.
Yeah, that was Dave. No, I'm saying that was Dave Chappelle specifically that said that.
You're right.
And then when he left, he said, "Hey, I fuck Katie too, man."
You people. That's what it was. It was the end where the whole you people thing happened.
Right. That's exactly
I mean, really, we try to be congenial about this and shit, but we do reserve the right to fuck you up.
Man,
oh, Dave.
He was before his time.
He was. And honestly, if he hadn't disappeared, and I don't blame him for doing what he did, but if he hadn't disappeared, like,
I'd have stayed, guy.
I feel like, would we have gotten to cancel culture if Dave had stayed around the whole time? I don't know. Or would Dave have been the first canceled?
That's crazy. No, it wouldn't even have been canceled because at that point, it was almost like a global phenomenon. Right. You know what I mean? Like every fucking body knew Dave Chappelle.
No doubt.
So if Dave Chappelle would have kept going, what might have happened is we would have erased this corny ass watered down Saturday Night Live shit out of the books,
right?
And you'd have had Dave Chappelle as the norm, TV. Right? As the norm instead of that, and then people would have been a little looser. You know what I mean?
I hear you. I don't disagree.
Now, don't get me wrong. You can't have your cake and eat it too. So it's one way over the other. Either we overcorrect and walk on eggshells, or you keep it loose and run the risk that somebody toes the line. But that's going to happen either way. The pendulum swings.
Well, and that's the whole thing, is that that's what it is. And I've talked about this, I think, in the context of like corporate culture. Like, it is those wide pendulum swings. Like, you always end up at one end of the spectrum or the other, and it's hard to get back to that middle ground. I think that honestly, for a long time, we were in, I would say, probably, again, late 90s to early 2000s, maybe mid 2000s, that it didn't feel like there was a lot of overcorrection outside of, maybe our response to something like 9/11. But, like, not a ton in terms of overcorrection. And now I feel like we have been literally leaping from one end of the spectrum back to the other. And the sad thing is that, at least politically, like, we've landed dead center, probably even a little further right than we should have with somebody like Biden.
Right.
After a period of Obama, who, was the second coming of the Antichrist in socialism, he was a moderate. Right. He was a moderate at best.
Right, the quote unquote, for people that didn't, are
for the audio listeners, there was a quote unquote.
Right. But no, I get it, but fuck that Biden shit just yet. I don't know nothing about what you got going on at the moment. You know what I mean?
No,
and I remember that motherfucker said that anybody who doesn't make under 400,000 or over 400,000 isn't paying a penny of taxes. Motherfucking, and what you call that shit they taking out of my check?
Well,
give me that back.
That's until that passes. Until that passes, it's still under the old system. Which, by the way, was Trump. So anybody that's pissed off about their taxes right now, know that was your boy.
Yeah, that motherfucker went up like a bitch. I was like, God damn, did y'all lower my motherfucking wage?
I got hit with something, and I'm trying to remember what it was, but it was... I think it was basically almost like a wage calculation with like putting my wife's and I's together, because at first, I end up owing something every year. Right, and then when I go to fix it, it overcorrects, and I'm like, fuck that, I'm not doing that. And I'm like, I'll pay the grand at the end of the year versus, them taking an extra $500 out of my check every month. Like, get the fuck out of here. Those total, like, it never seems to add up the right way. And I'm just like, you know what? No. Fuck it. I'll save the money on my end.
Listen, I'm just trying to get their hand up out of my pocket.
Right. Snatch it back.
I ain't got enough in there anyway. You know what I mean? You know what? This visual that I got is giving me a real spy versus spy vibe.
The black and white.
Yeah.
I'm in the white on the black background, and you're in the black on like the light gray white background.
I'm getting a very spy versus spy vibe right now. I used to love that game. That was on Nintendo.
Mm-hmm.
Me and my cousin used to play that. Shouts to Jason.
I don't even remember like what that game was, but I do remember it being there. Like, I remember it being a thing, but I don't remember like the mechanics or the gameplay at all.
I just remember it was like a sabotage thing where you were trying to like set something up for it. Almost gave, I can't remember it exactly, but it almost kind of gave me like a virtual, and I could be off on this, a virtual Connect 4 vibe.
Okay.
You had to do things like to set people up, and eventually once you did it right, they couldn't do
get out of, they were trapped in. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember it, and like I'm with you. Like, I remember playing it. I don't think that's one I actually owned. So I wonder if that was a Video Central over there on Livingston.
How hard would it be to make something like that?
I mean, probably not hard. You could probably find like ROMs of it today. Like, basically emulator or a Nintendo emulator or something where you could download it.
Shouts to all the simple games that kept you hooked all day type shit. Paperboy.
Yeah.
If I had Paperboy still to this day, I would be hooked on that all day.
I mean, I was always a big Tetris fan.
Tetris. Yeah, I am. I do like Tetris, but it won't keep me like all day. You know what I mean?
It was one of those early games like phone games are today that would like get you basically in a rhythm and in a loop, and it was hard to break out of it. Or maybe that's just the addictive personalities, but like, man, you're always chasing that next one kind of deal. And yeah, the other one that I used to play with, even in college, when I broke the Nintendo back out, was this game called Loops. And it was basically like, it was kind of Tetris-esque in the sense that you got like these bars and these shapes, and the idea was you had to connect them, and if you connected them, you created a loop, and it would disappear off the screen.
Okay.
That was one that we used to play like versus in, and that was another good one that was kind of in the same like world as Tetris. Like had enough strategy involved that it kept you engaged, but enough randomness involved that sometimes you were just fucked.
You know what I've always wanted to play that kind of like that kind of gave me, well, I don't know, maybe it's because thinking back to Nintendo, I love that Friday the 13th too.
Okay.
I don't know why, probably because they always used to play it when I was little back in the day, and the shit used to scare me, but like to the point that I wanted to watch.
Right.
Because it was a cartoon, you know what I mean?
It was 8-bit. It's not like...
I was scared, but I wasn't like, oh, I need to leave the room scared. I was just like, oh shit. When I got old enough, I bought that Nintendo again. Wish I would have kept it. I still don't know where the fuck it's at. My mom probably threw it away. But I looked on and seen online that they was buying original Nintendos back for like $350 or something like that.
Yeah, if you've got like one with original parts and shit, what I would say is you can also find them right now for like $100.
Well, right, the remade models and shit. But I'm saying like the original boy. I had the original boy. Like I went across. Aaron took me across town to get that motherfucker. It was only one place that had it, and we was driving through some places that we had never been before. Let's just put it like that.
That's funny. No,
and I bought like $50 worth of games, so you know how many games I had.
Right.
200 of them. I'm just like...
I mean, I've got a stack of 50 of them right over there, and I bought a top loader probably 5-6 years ago. Not the original Nintendo, but it plays the original games.
You don't got that track and field?
I do. I had a power pad up until...
I want that power pad. I want them because you remember back in the day, wasn't nobody's fingers faster than mine. And that I had the record in that 100 meter.
No, you remember? You know which one I remember playing with you was the wrestling games, where you had to do the special to get out, and you wore the fucking hole in your hand from the N64 joystick.
Right.
I can't get out of the submission. God, so many fucking controllers are broken.
N64 joints held up a bit, though.
I mean, honestly, N64, like, I would still play those games now. Like, no, the graphics don't really hold up, but the gameplay did. Like, the mechanics do.
That Tony Hawk was my shit. Yeah.
Honestly, a lot of the wrestling games I loved. Obviously, GoldenEye. Everybody talks about GoldenEye. All I remember is GoldenEye with you, Shelby Gordon, Golden Gun in the temple. Or License to Kill in the temple.
I was not a fan of GoldenEye.
No, I mean, I ran our squad with that one. And
you definitely did.
And it was my favorite, what was it, proximity mines, where you could drop them on the ammo box and then pick it up. And the next person that went to come get it when it respawned.
See, I just did not like GoldenEye. I'm glad it advanced. Let's just put it that way.
But it was good. That was a fun one. I mean, it was fun just because, like, literally, we would spend all fucking night playing that game.
Right. Right.
It was that and honestly, like, the wrestling games. Like, what was it? WCW NWO Revenge, I think is what it was.
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah. And you could create your own player and shit. I do remember that.
Yeah.
Huh. Good times. Good times. That's crazy how motherfuckers say they seem like yesterday, because they do seem like yesterday.
It doesn't feel like it was that long ago. And meanwhile, it's about, 20 years ago now.
Listen, more than that.
In some cases, yeah.
Right.
2025. But yeah.
Yeah, times. Man. Okay, so what I was wondering this as well.
All right.
What is it that when a memory fades, like a memory you have in your mind, it's the same vibe as remembering a dream?
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. It's fuzzy. You know it happened.
Right.
But it's fuzzy, and it gives you that same, like, not all there vibe as a dream does.
I know exactly what you mean.
Like, I can't piece everything together.
Right. Like I know this happened, but I don't remember. Like,
I can't remember right.
No, I'm with you, because I run into that shit all the time where I'm like, I know this is the exact conversation we have. I cannot tell you for the life of me of why we had it.
I just don't get it, like, what it is about your brain function that...
Well, that's when it's a filing cabinet and not a galaxy.
That's exactly, because it puts it in the same folder as memory, dreams, memories. They go in the same folder. We remember them the same.
Right. And honestly, that goes back to I think that actually does play more into the galaxies, though, even than the filing cabinet. Because the point is it's that database, right? Where they have fields in common. So this is like, there's 10 fields on this one, there's 10 fields on this one. They have 4 fields in common, and so that's where you link them together inside of your mind.
I think you're onto something there, sir. I think you're onto something there.
But the problem is I don't have anything more to say on it. That was my that was my end game there.
No, listen, that's why we fools and we agree, because I agreed all the way. I was waiting for some more hotness, but sometimes we run out.
That's all you get, man. That's all you get.
Now, what I was going to say is, damn, what was I going to say? It was important too. What's the last thing you said?
Galaxies, filing cabinets, how there are 4 of the same fields in each of those instances, meaning that's where your brain creates the linkage.
Yeah, that's where I was going. So see, me, I'm a genius in a way. You feel what I'm saying? If I'm really...
I agree. We'll agree again.
We agree again. And I think you're crazy for agreeing, and I know you agree. We agree again. He said, we win again. What movie was that? Showdown Point. What movie was that? I
don't have it.
Grown Ups. Remember when they was talking about the arrow roulette and he was stuck in the cast? He said, we win again. That shit's funny. But what I was thinking was, don't lose it again. When I said I'm a genius, it was just really me being humble because
I'm the voice of a generation.
Right. You see how
all right, Kanye, settle down.
You see how straight faced I said that? I need a fucking acting gig. But I'm very humble because I feel like when I ask those questions,
because you're humble if you have to tell everybody you're humble. But continue.
Let me continue being humble. Because I ask these great questions, right? Like dreams and memories. But my thing is, I'm trying to figure out my what's the word?
Your filing cabinet.
Yeah, I guess you can, but that's just the function of my filing cabinet.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And I don't want to project my situation on anyone else.
Yeah.
So when I ask those questions, that's just
it's you
my
trying to
feeling.
figure you out.
Right. Do you feel that same way? Oh, you may. Okay. So my next thing is, well, what else is similar?
So you're talking like
what? to connect dots, like, so could it relate to the same way you said you turn off a half of your brain when you're typing and you're talking while you focus on the task at hand? Is that the same as you lumping the dreams and the memories together to save space, if you will, for me to be able to do more on this side? And the more that we do program ourselves digitally, the more we put those memories into a filing cabinet, so we have room to operate as a solar system when it comes to accepting information.
I feel like it's almost the opposite. Is that
oh really?
The meaning?
But you get what I'm getting at, though.
I do, in the sense of, so you're storing things in a certain way because they're filed away the same way. The commentary around basically going on autopilot and being able to kind of type something over here while having a conversation over here, I actually think that is, well, I guess both of them are just showing the evolution of the human brain, because never before in human history has there been an opportunity to kind of be in that mentality.
Well, right. Well, you see where I'm at now, though.
The technology didn't happen. I actually think that the pandemic and working from home has actually evolved us on that front. Meaning we've gotten used to being on the phone typing and doing multiple things, like multitasking.
Right.
And that ability to multitask is increasing with the pandemic.
Now, listen, that's what I'm saying. And that's what I'm saying is because back in the day, and you can blame it on age, you can blame it on whatever the case may be, but back in the day, those same memories were vivid. They were vivid to you. I could tell you where I was. I could tell you what I was doing. I could tell you what you were wearing.
Yeah.
And then I feel like once we get in contact with the electronics, where we have to move in a way where we have to shut our brain down and be able to type, it's like, well, those memories aren't important. Store them with the dreams. Make more room, more processing space.
Yeah, okay. I'm following.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I feel like now that they've done that, it's like those memories aren't as colorful as they once were before we came in touch with technology. And one of the things that made me think of that was, did you see the video about the youngest Mensa member?
No, I saw one this week that was like the 12-year-old who graduated from college. I don't know if that's the same.
So no, there's a little girl. I think she's a 3-year-old or a 5-year-old girl. I think she's 3. IQ's 146.
Okay.
So,
well, the interesting thing with IQ though is IQ is basically take the intelligence of your age and
no. This little chick is bad. She was 2 years old. She knew all of the elements based on their periodic table,
like where
identified.
Okay.
She was reading. She had math down. Like, it was at the age of 2. Like, and they were showing her like the different things she would do, like with her parents and all that. And her mom's bad too. It looks like her mom was like Indian.
Okay.
Like I don't know, like, you know, like what specifically, but like not American Indian. I don't know how you would identify it. But, and then her dad was black, her mom was Indian, and she's bad. You know how them Indians are with education. Yeah. She opened up her own school for kids with like a higher learning ability type thing, so she could stay with her daughter. She is I was so amazed just to see what she was able to do. And the news reporter at the end of the segment said, and you know what's very funny about that is that you look at everything that she was working with, and out of all those videos that they showed, you didn't see her with one tablet, not a TV, not nothing in front of her. She was working with flashcards and paper the old-fashioned way. And that's how she was learning. And she said, I wonder if that has anything to do with, you know, the way she retains and learns as opposed to our kids with low attention spans on these. And I said that all makes sense to me.
It does. I will agree on the attention span thing. I think where I've got kind of mixed views on that is, I mean, again, case study.
I'm not saying, before you continue, I'm not saying that you shouldn't adapt with the technology, of course.
Yeah. No, I guess my question at that point, well, and again, I think it goes to level of involvement too. Like, what I find interesting is that, you know, Shar and I have the constant debate of, oh, is he playing too many video games? Is he watching too much TV? Blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, coming out of a pandemic kindergarten, kid tested 99th percentile in math and 98th in reading, or 97th in reading. Like, I
think that's a little different though. Like video games and TV are different than a kid, you know, streaming YouTube and going like watching Roblox like videos and shit. Like right. At least when you're playing, you're problem solving, you're doing something at that moment. But when you're watching it,
that's always been my argument with Shar, is that it actually teaches you strategic thinking. A lot of video games, especially the stuff that he likes, like the Minecrafts and even like Smash Brothers. Like, it teaches you to think strategically in terms of like, how do I beat this opponent? This won't work. This will. Like,
I think that's all healthy.
I do too. Now, obviously, it's everything in moderation, right?
Right.
But no, I'm with you. I actually think, well, and for me, like, video games were always, for me, were like the escapism. In terms of, like, I was always a fan of the role-playing games, right? Like, where I didn't have to be as buttoned up. Like, I could do whatever I want. I could be the bad guy in the video game. So that I didn't have to live that in real life. You know what I mean?
That depends on what you consider to be a bad guy.
True. It's all relative.
Because there's a lot of people that say I'm as sweet as pie. There's a lot of people that probably still hate me to this day.
He's an asshole.
and more of them
bounce back and forth between the two. I will tell you, Shar does. She loves you, but she does bounce back and forth. Sometimes Cliff can be an asshole. Yeah,
I agree too.
But he's always Cliff. Like,
exactly, but
guess what? When you like him,
you know what?
He's still the same asshole.
Right. What the people that feel that way don't understand is I'm the exact same way to myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I bully myself more than I bully anybody else.
I'm with you.
Anytime you get that little feeling like, I don't know if I should, you bitch ass nigga, you better get up and do that shit. Or I don't feel like going to work. I'm feeling sick. You better hop your bitch ass up and clock in and get this money.
Shut
what the fuck
up.
is like any little thing that comes across my mind, I just berate myself with things that I would never say out loud.
Yeah.
And it almost feels like it's not even me talking. It's the inner drive that's like, nah, let me grab you by your motherfucking ear. Right. And let me say some things that's gonna pierce your well-being.
Sometimes you need that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm with you.
So imagine if it came out my mouth audibly.
Right.
Got parental advised.
Right.
Yeah, we
this goes back to the, well, I don't know.
Give you the explicit content.
I feel like a year ago we talked about how you had no filter.
Oh no!
Wasn't that like half the conversation back in the first couple episodes? Your filter is different. That's what it is.
I have a city
filter.
water filter.
Right.
Oh, it's still a lot of fluorides and particles that come through that shit.
Right.
But it's more purified than drinking it out of the.
It catches 90% of the stuff that's harmful to you.
Right. Let's keep it a buck.
Oh man. Well, changing gears here. So we are at Memorial Day weekend, which is typically the kickoff of the summer. And I don't know about you, summer was very different for us last year. A lot of things, not open. A lot of things, we were still being pretty cautious throughout most of the summer, at least until, football and school kind of came back. Anything you're looking forward to this summer that you didn't get to do last summer, or didn't not even like specific things, but like general behaviors that maybe you stayed away from last year because of the lockdown, COVID, all that shit that you're looking forward to getting back to, or no?
No, not at all. I mean, I wouldn't say by any means I was irresponsible last year. But I also didn't operate under any fear. You know what I mean?
I hear you.
And as you know, my circle is so small, it turned to a period, like Drake said. So it's really only family and very close friends anyway. And granted, I don't know what y'all are doing all the time, but I'm not exposing myself to randoms at all times. You know what I mean? And even if they opened everything back up, most you probably catch me at is a pool hall or a bar on a weekend.
Yeah.
But I'm not clubbing or like maybe if I take a vacation, I wouldn't be against going out. But right. I'm not. Listen, my life is already written. Especially if you believe all that. My life is already written. Now, what it holds, I don't know. You know what I mean? I'm still reading the book along with every motherfucking body else.
Sarah Connor would say there is no fate but what we make.
Listen, I feel like it's what we make with the time we have.
Right.
But once again, I feel like that's already been written. So I'm not going to watch my step so much, especially in a situation where they're telling others you're open to do a little bit more. You know what I mean? Like nothing changes for me.
Right.
Because even when we were under code red or code purple or whatever the fuck they called it.
Yeah.
That didn't change the way I move. I mean, I moved cautiously regardless. So this basically all you did was change the world to my pace.
Right. No.
Now y'all got to move the way I move or fall off.
Right. No, and I'm with you there. Like that's been my running joke is I was made for the COVID life in terms of it let my behavior be normal. Like, nah, I don't want to see anybody. It's cool.
Right.
I will say probably getting back to family that maybe we haven't seen as much of. That's probably number one. And then number two is like...
Did they kick us?
What's that?
Did they kick us?
What do you mean, did they kick us? Is the
I think
stream down?
It went down. It's probably going to pop back up here in a second.
All right. Well,
I don't know what's been going on.
At YouTube and Streamlabs, it goes back and forth. Honestly, at the end of the day, I try to push us on the podcast anyways more than the YouTube.
Right. And that's
good.
What I've been trying to, do on.
Oh, did you see that I updated the art on the podcast for Hit the Showers?
On the podcast version, I did see that. I saw that 2 episodes ago.
Yeah, I feel like I did it over the weekend.
Yeah, I said, look at that. Yeah, it was.
I was trying.
Nigga, listen. I was out there with Britt playing flag football that weekend, boy. I thought I was gonna have a little bit of playing time. They had me out there the whole goddamn game. And my dad was supposed to come out there. That motherfucker played 3 plays and laid down after we left from your house.
Oh, okay.
With me and my dad and my uncle and all them was over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I thought my shit is still tight. Like my abs, my everything, like everything is still tight. But it makes me really want to get back in shape though, because my abs are so tight that you know how like when you can lay on your back and do like a crunch and you can stick your fingers down in between your ab muscles.
Yeah, I know all about that. Cliff, it's a little different when you're closer to 300 than you are to 200.
Listen, but I've been 5'5", 205 or whatever, and I still had a little bit of ab core. You can get some. What I'm saying is, you can get some fingers down there. But when I stuck them down, because when I was in shape,
that would be a callback. Thank you.
That was good shit. But back when I was in shape, I used to judge how good my abs were by how far my fingers would go down into my.
It's like checking the tread on a tire with a penny.
And I can always get to this knuckle. That's the second? That's the
second, yeah.
So I can always get here. And when I did it after going through, even with my fat, I was probably like in the middle of the first and the second. I said, just lose this little bit and you're going to be back. So I might have to do that.
There you go. Speaking of physical exertion for the week.
I got to get the bike.
Yeah, you got to get the bike.
Yeah,
I need to actually get on mine.
You will when I ride over there with you and say, get your ass on this bike. I ain't buy this shit for nothing. You know I'm broke. Give me my money back.
Right. No doubt. Fools agree. So I had a good workout Tuesday. Did not work out today because we got camp, and I just figured I'm going to take the week off and come back ready to go because I haven't taken a week off for a little while. And Tuesday, though, after I worked out in the morning, it did, 490 for a double on squat. That was good. And got 250 for 7 on the bench, which isn't great, but it was good for me these days.
Listen, that is great.
Anyways, after all that, I got voluntold that I had to work field day for my son's school. And I ended up
a Shard school,
right?
Big dog.
They actually put me on. They did they were doing stations, and I got put on the tug of war station.
Oh shit! And I know you was fucking them kids.
You know. Well, first of all, I jumped in because you already jumped to that assumption. Like it's supposed to be the kids versus the kids,
right?
But we were doing things like, what do you like better, Kosai or the zoo? And everybody would go to the Kosai side, and it would be like me and maybe one teacher or an aide that would jump on the other side just to give them something to go.
Leave that teacher or that aide. Drag them. Maybe they'll change y'all's field trips next year. Drag that aide, that teacher.
I will tell you that despite what you may think, it's hard to pull 18 kids who are actively pulling against you. I mean, for the most part, I could at least stalemate them early on.
Right.
But
after a while. Yeah,
right. After a while. My other thing was
kid energy. They'll go at you for a half hour.
Right, exactly. And my whole thing was I said to Shar later, and actually our girl Katie said to her, like, I'd have been better off if I would worn cleats. Because I would hit that point where, like, I could get my base, but as soon as I lost it, I was sliding. I was done.
Oh, I didn't tell you that. I bought the whole jump off. When I went out with her the first time, I was wearing basketball shoes, and I dropped the interception.
You did tell me that. Yeah.
Man, I said, not again, Jack. So and I bought them damn cleats, and I had gloves. They put me at rush.
That's because you dropped that interception last week.
Listen, you know how many dropped interceptions it was before mine? I was counting them. It was 5. And mine was way overthrown. I just had one hand on it, and I thought I could bring it back in.
If you can touch it, you can catch it. Come on, Cliff.
What it was I was trying to take off. I was trying to catch it with that hand.
And trying to run before you got it. That's mistake number one.
I did. That's exactly what it was, too. But I was slipping before I caught it, so I got my cleats now, though, so these motherfuckers.
So I have a question. Did you find old cleats, or did you buy new cleats?
I bought cleats.
All right.
I bought some little cheap Adidas cleats off Amazon. It was like $59.99.
That's not bad.
Yeah. They hurt your feet when you play a whole goddamn.
That's because Adidas
they ain't soccer cleats.
Because fucking Adidas are narrow as shit, man. I can't
Well,
deal with Adidas.
They are kind of. You are right. They are kind of narrow. That might be what's hurt because it's the sides of my feet.
That's exactly what it is, then, man. Like our head coach for the school where I coach at,
like that top ball,
right? Buys us new shoes like for the coaches every year. They're basically like turf shoes or whatever. And I can't fucking wear them. I've told him to stop buying them if he's buying fucking Adidas because Adidas, one, doesn't do wide sizes, and two, they're narrow as shit to begin with. And I've got wide ass feet. Like I got them hobbit feet. Like
I do too. If I wore the size I wear, but they don't make it in every brand, I wear a 9.5 wide.
And I wear a 13E. Like
listen, my feet be kicking if I don't get the right. But you know what? The reason is because them Nikes, you bump up to them Nike cleats now. Now you're paying 130,
110, 120. Yeah.
I said, for all this, I might as well get the Jordan cleats that I know fit my feet.
Right.
Because I wear them bitches
they make
every
Jordan
day.
Cleats?
Man,
Jordan
them bitches is cold too. They 11s. They 200 though.
Ooh, no.
They 199.99. Oh, I ain't buying them for but I'm gonna go out there next year with her though. Now that I see what she do, and
does New Balance make a cleat?
They don't make Monarch.
They don't make Monarch cleats.
No.
Damn. I figured they had to have a coach's shoe or something.
No, none of them cleats. Listen, I told you we got to set up that field day.
Shar was asking me questions like, well, one, she loves the fact that you're calling it a field day. Yeah. And two, she's like, well, why? I'm like, just because they wanted to have some extra content for the channel.
Right. You know, people going to get to know you before they listen. Mm-hmm. And nobody wants to listen to somebody that don't know how to do nothing at all. They're like, you ain't even athletic and you talking shit about these players. Now, it'd be different if we got to see Stephen A. Smith and Skip Bayless in a 3-point competition. I bet y'all bitches wouldn't be talking so much about these. Them. Right. So I feel like that's our proving ground to be like, yeah, we got a little something. That's why we did. Right, you know?
I will. I'll just post my highlight tape from college to the channel.
Well, we might do that as an introduction to your. You gotta hit 10 episodes before we give you that.
Well, what am I at? I'm probably at what 4 or 5.
Motherfucker, yeah, probably 4 or 5.
That sounds about right.
4 or 5.
Because I was on the inaugural, and I've been on a couple, and then I was on the draft special. Yeah, I'm probably at 5. I'm probably at 5. Yeah, the draft special counts even though you fucked it up.
That was great too. I just think that was
we had such good conversation in the first half.
Right, that's what I'm saying. It was just good fun. It wasn't even so much about. It was just
what
the
was
waiting
actually
on the
happening.
picks.
Yeah,
right.
The vibing in between picks.
Right, I can't believe I fucked that up. But shit happens. You know what I mean? It wasn't meant to be heard. That's all that was. The shit pre-written, like I said. God knew I was gonna fuck that up.
Right.
You know what I saw that was funny today?
What's that?
I guess it wasn't even funny at all. I don't want to talk about it.
Great segue there, Cliff.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it. Podcast or not, I don't want to talk about it.
I don't want to talk about it.
I decided against that. We struck that from the record.
Yeah, I'm good. Thanks.
See, that's that filter. That's 10%.
Right. It's back.
That's that 10%. I just saved y'all from lead poisoning.
Yeah.
So, what about these snakes in the toilets?
Wait, what?
Snakes in the
this
toilet.
Sounds like some World Star
I'm not
shit.
talking about Samuel Jackson's next film either.
Sick and tired of these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane. God damn.
Listen, man, snakes in toilets. They've been coming in people's toilets. You ain't been hearing about that?
No. Is this a World Star thing? Or is this
no,
like
it's not
Columbus
at all
news?
a World Star thing. I heard it on
Is this happening in Columbus?
I heard it on Dr. Phil. I don't watch Dr. Phil. I just said that because I can't quote my sources. I can't. It's not World Star though. It wasn't a World Star thing. Because it tripped me out when I heard it. Like, what?
So are they basically like swimming up the water line or something?
I guess so.
That's interesting.
And yeah, and they were saying like, watch your
shit.
And I was like, what? What kind of world are we living in? Nobody's talking about this. And fuck the alien snakes in the toilet. Like, we about to get our balls bit and shit. Man, you gotta look
in this motherfucking bowl.
Toilet. God damn. But
Snakes on a toilet. I don't know if that has quite the commercial appeal that Snakes on a Plane did.
I don't know, but I feel like it's more, you worry about it more.
Right.
I'd be more worried about
what kind of snakes they are. Like, some snakes eat eggs. And I don't know if I want my my nuts hanging in.
Oh, they're biting those nuts regardless. That's the one. It's like a speed bag to them. Like, it's the one thing hanging below, right?
For the audio listeners.
You don't even have to say it, and they know what the fuck you was doing with your dumb ass, man. It's the one thing. It's just right there. They're just right there for you. It's like a double speed bag.
It goes back. It goes back to what we talked about with the staple through the bike tube tire.
That's rough. That's rough. Yeah, all I'm saying is watch your toilets. Watch your toilets.
So make sure you're checking your toilet before you sit down, is what you're saying.
Maybe give a courtesy flush before you sit your black ass or your white ass down, or whoever's ass down.
Whoever.
You get any ass gotta, What? What else?
Oh man. Well, I have a question for you.
Ask away, my G.
What do you think? What do you think my wife is doing right now? Because I will tell you, she's not home. She's actually out and about.
Like what? Like if I'm just giving a guess?
Yeah.
So what I think happened is the orphanage caught on fire and she was riding by that motherfucking, being though that she was a teacher and she has a sentimental value to children, she dropped out immediately and left her car in the middle of the road, right lane, door wide open. Somebody didn't see it, smacked off the door. She didn't worry about it. She looked back and ran straight into the building fearlessly, grabbed a couple of little orphans, ran them back out, black soot all in her lungs, all in her face. She dropped them off on the sidewalk, jumped back in, ran up to the second floor, grabbed a couple, jumped out the first window that she saw, landed on her feet like Spider-Man, dropped the 2 kids off, ran back in, grabbed a few more, saw that there was an old janitor back in the back row. He escorted him out very safely, and then she hopped back in her car with one door like a postman and rode off into the sunset. Everybody said, who was that amazing superhero girl that just saved all these orphans and this janitor? And they said, we don't know.
I was not expecting that. Wow.
And I ended that story like Army of the Dead.
Just
left y'all hanging.
Just left.
Gave all y'all so much and just left y'all hanging.
Just leave you.
But you didn't know your wife was a superhero.
You gotta leave them on the door, I guess. Oh man, that's funny. All right, you win. The actual answer is not quite as exciting. What do you think she was doing? No.
At Tarjay?
No, I told you my mom is here, so obviously it was planned that we both had shit to do tonight.
Right.
She's
going too, though, isn't she?
Camping? Yeah.
Is she riding with y'all?
No, she's driving up separate because she brought her dog. If she hadn't brought her dog, we could all ridden in the same car, but not enough room for her and the dog.
Okay.
But,
well, I guess I don't feel as bad inconvenience in my reats.
No.
Because I know she didn't want to come see you. Andrew, maybe.
Right. No, Shar is actually out at some dude on her soccer team, I guess, is DJing tonight. So she is 40 years old and out like with the rest of the soccer crew listening to this dude DJ.
Let her kick it. You know she ain't doing nothing but saving the day.
Right. I like your answer better.
Right. That's when she gonna come home. She gonna come home late and be like, honey, it was an orphanage and it was on fire, and I had to go in there and come save some orphanage
How
kids.
crazy would it be if that happened?
and then you cuss her out like all mad, like, no, you wasn't. You was out there doing some bullshit, and then you go outside in the morning and it's a door off of her car. You're like, what the fuck?
Well, I guess we don't have to worry about locking it.
Oh shit! They gonna be like, she a postman. She a Uber postman now. Now clip that shit.
Right. I'm gonna have to do that, actually. Insane answers to questions. That should be a new game.
Listen.
Where each one of us just asks like one mundane question and we see who comes up with the crazier shit answer.
I might like that.
This is what I used to do with the cat, right? Like, because the cat, when she meows, and I think I've told you this, like, I used to play the same game with Andrew when he was a baby and wasn't really saying words. It'd be like, Grandma did what?
Right.
You're not allowed to use that kind of language or say that.
Right. Listen.
Oh man, the problem is that you would win that every time because you're better on your feet than I am. I gotta plan my shit out.
I'm like a cat. I'm like a cat, baby.
Wow.
Listen. You're the tiger.
Oh shit. Well, what else we got for tonight, sir? We're about. I gotta look because you're right. The stream did reset. I actually don't know if we're live streaming anymore. The overall podcast is still going. But.
Yeah, we're not pressed. That's how it goes. But I don't understand why that is, and I wish I knew what times it happens because it always happens. Well, it's happened twice on our Saturday show.
Okay.
Usually Wednesday goes uninterrupted. We've had once, I think, in the past.
I mean, we haven't had it happen to us in a long time.
Right.
So.
Maybe we overworking these motherfuckers. Maybe we podcast overtime and they like, God damn, we can't keep up. We'll pay us more per ad, motherfuckers.
No. Meanwhile, the Streamlabs is like, no, you got to pay us more. And we're
Listen,
like,
we didn't expect y'all to come. Listen, I'm not going to say that either. That's that 10% filter. I was about to just incriminate the fuck out of myself. I damn sure is about to incriminate
don't do that
out of myself.
Don't do that.
Oh, not that, past.
It's gone.
Nothing. Yeah, no, you can't come looking now. You ain't gonna find shit.
You don't know.
Right.
You might suspect, but you don't know.
You know what I mean? I keep
Prove it.
Can't do that, baby. You know me.
That's my favorite. That's my favorite.
They call me Mr. CYA.
Right. That's my default with A-Raj when he catches me like changing what I said to him. Prove it. Can you prove it? No? All right. Shut up. Go do what you were told.
Right. You don't even have to prove it. Right now, you're too young for me not to be the judge, jury, and executioner. Get the fuck out before my foot escorts you.
Oh, shit.
Listen.
I don't know.
Oh, I did have another inadvertent, but I'm not going to lie.
What you got?
I'm not going to lie. I had to do it aliens.
Okay. All right. Well, we're an hour 20, so that might take us out.
Okay. And I was wondering, right, because I was watching, I don't know what it was that I was watching. Damn, I wish I knew because it would bring it all together. But they were talking about the moon rover, and I guess there was a parent moon rover that was left up there.
Moon or Mars?
Was it moon? Was it Mars?
Because you still have Curiosity was already there, and whatever the new one is. Plus, the new one brought the helicopter and some other shit.
Well, this wasn't like a operational, like a run on its own thing. This was just like a bailout, let's go type thing.
Okay, I'm listening.
But I guess that, and that was one of the things that they tried to, I guess, use to say that we never were there. Like, well, if it was left, where would it be? It's never been spotted, or nobody's ever found it or anything.
So basically, like one of the first moon missions, like we left a car or something there,
right? Exactly,
and it can't be seen from Earth, basically.
And right. So people are saying you never got there. So I was thinking along the lines, well, first, my immediate thought, the rational thought is, how fucking big the moon is?
Right.
I don't care how good
can you find a person on Earth?
I don't care how good your satellite cameras are. You're not getting down into the areas to be able to see if there's something as small as a rover there.
Right.
Secondly, there's no secondly. Let me strike that from the record as well. But my inadvertent, like the conspiracy mind in me, not even conspiracy, but the outside of the box thinking mind in me started wondering, what if aliens are covering our tracks on purpose?
Okay, say more.
Like, okay, so of course, if someone knows about aliens, they would know they're out there, right? So my thinking is, if we were, so like, say like we have that rover on Mars trying to find water, trying to find proof of life or vegetation or whatever the case may be. And what if it's an alien up there kicking the
then it's like wiping away the tracks as it goes.
You know what I mean? Or like it's headed towards the waterfall and the alien's like, let me push this that way so these fucking parasites don't come ruin this planet too, type shit.
I think that's fair. I think what's interesting with, Mars in particular, the moon's different because the moon doesn't have any kind of an atmosphere. Mars does. So Mars, you already know, like the big red spot or whatever on Mars is basically a storm that is circling the planet, etc. So that kind of stuff gets wiped away anyways because there is some semblance of an atmosphere. It's not something we can breathe, but there is basically wind. There's moving air or moving gas.
I told you they found proof of water.
Right. And I did look that up, and they did. Mostly in like crystalline.
See, form. I don't be bullshitting.
Not all the time.
I don't even be. I preface it with this World Star News.
It's true. You usually do, which is why I had to ask on the last one.
Or how much I believe it.
Right. But that would make sense to some extent. I think the flip side is we also don't know enough in those situations. Like, I know moon doesn't have any atmosphere, but does that mean that nothing actually like moves or happens on the planet's surface without something happening to it?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
how do we know that it's not Aztec type shit where shit's built underground?
Right. Fair.
We don't show ourselves up top. We live underground and come out when we need to.
Yeah. And that would make sense if you were to believe that Mars really was the sister planet to Earth and at some point it had a fully fledged atmosphere. If there was any kind of survival on Mars, it would probably be subterranean. And to the point of ice caps, if you look at Total Recall, the whole philosophy was there was ice at the core of Mars, and when you melted it, that's what recreated the atmosphere. That was Arnold.
But I'm not against that writer. That's a leap. That's a leap that I'm not against that leap. That's crazy. And how would you melt a planet? First of all, motherfuckers, it takes 6 hours, 4 hours to thaw chicken at room temperature, and
not with hot water. It doesn't
thaw a planet. Well, first of all, you're not supposed to use hot water, sir, because it cooks the chicken before you put it in the pan.
But it all depends on how you do it. Like if you put it in, what I like to do is actually put it in a plastic container and put the plastic, because that way you're not directly heating the chicken. You're heating the plastic around it. Is how I like to thaw things.
You trying shit. I usually just put it in something with cold water and salt.
That's fair too.
Or if I'm not in a rush and I plan like I like to do, I just put it in a Ziploc freezer bag
on
and
the counter.
sit it right. Or
I'm with
sit
you
it
there.
in the sink.
My problem is that usually I'm not planning ahead enough. And so I'll put it in like a container in hot water in the sink.
That is the good thing about working from home is that
I actually plan meals, right?
While I'm thinking like, when am I gonna eat tonight? Let me run out there and go pull this out the freezer.
Yep. And we've got that deep freezer right there in the garage, and so
see that's what. I'm glad you said you had that. I might have to store some shit in there. You got room?
Usually. Right now it's a little tight because we just got.
Listen,
I know
rich.
You don't have shit, so
I ain't rich, but it'd probably be a grocery bag or two if I needed.
Yeah, that's anytime you want to do that, man. Like,
okay. Because my freezer be full, and it ain't even really full of like hella
it's just bulky shit. Yeah.
Right. It's just big. Exactly. Big shit takes up too much room.
Yep. No, and that's actually the whole reason we got a deep freezer in the first place is we were running into the same shit.
And you're right down the street, so if I needed to go grab a bag of frozen chicken, that's a 5-minute.
Well, and the thing is, as long as you catch us like somewhere in between Costco runs, which we do maybe once a month, usually like every month and a half, we've always got room.
It's just me and my daughter, and I get my daughter.
When we first get the order or the Costco run in, the freezer can be a little packed. But even right now, like I just got an order 2 days ago, but half the shit's going with us. Not half, but a decent amount is coming camping with us, so there'll be space.
It ain't that deep. I ain't even went to grocery shopping yet again. But that's always a concern of mine where it's like, I don't want to buy a lot of shit because I don't know what'll fit.
But the flip side is if you...
I might just get one.
They're not that bad. I mean, honestly, the one I have, I feel like it was, I don't know, it was cheap. I mean,
I know I can get from one for like $250.
The one I found was $150.
Oh, okay. I would definitely.
And I mean, it's a 3 foot or 4 foot, and then 3 feet deep.
Oh shit! I don't even know if I need all that.
So you can get like the basically the cube kind of chest ones. You should be able to find something like that for 120 or so.
Yeah, I might have to do that. Let me look.
And those are small enough that you just throw them wherever. And I'm trying to think, like you don't.
I would just put it right by my refrigerator.
Right.
I just gotta clean out all these boxes and shit that I got everywhere.
Everybody got boxes. That's the Amazon problem.
I got boxes everywhere.
I don't even know where half this shit comes from. I don't know.
That comes from not selecting Amazon suggestion and saying lump all these orders together. You'd be like, nope, give it to me on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. If that's how you're going to deliver it that way.
I will tell you that I have gotten better about making sure I select like the Amazon delivery day or whatever.
Well, me, a lot of the shit that I order is for shirts or orders. So it's like, no, I need that shit immediately.
Yeah, I need it yesterday.
Right. So I gotta accept 3 boxes in 3 different days if that's what you're gonna do.
Right. Oh, on that note, so I know we talked a little bit about whoever the provider is for like Fresh and Clean teas in terms of their wholesaler. Were you ever able to find like different quality teas there, or are you still using the ones like the Gildan or whatever? Yeah,
the Gildan is what I'm still doing at the moment, but I kind of paused on getting any more.
Okay.
Because truth be told, I'm sitting on a nice amount of teas. Because let's be honest, at the moment, I'm still experimenting.
Yeah.
Of course, I do orders, but I'm experimenting for the most part. I don't feel like anything's been...
It's been more for, like, us, right? Like, it's been more like experimentation and, like, getting us swag and that kind of shit.
I want to know that I can do whatever if somebody asks for it before I just come out and say, publicly ask me for whatever.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Hit me up.
Right. I'm a preparation guy.
No, I get
more
it.
so than see, and that's what's crazy is because my attitude makes you think that I'll just dive in.
Right, you'll just do it.
And I have if I have to, I have no fear in just doing that. But if I have the opportunity, I much rather prepare than
I get that.
Take on a task without knowing what to expect.
No, I'm with you there. And honestly, a lot of it's funny because I feel like we've had this conversation from I like to slow play when it comes to talking to females, talking to women. And it's more like I gotta have my game.
Oh no, that you gotta be remembered. Because especially if the woman you're talking to is beautiful like that, she probably gets talked to by 5 dudes a day. Right. So you gotta be memorable when it comes to that. Ain't no slow play. I need to let you know I'm interested. I myself am interested. I would like to put my bid in, my ticket. If you are available, let me know.
Please let me know. And if you would like further consideration, please reach out to me.
Right. That's how that goes.
Like a collections call.
That's exactly how
Please
that goes.
Please call us at 614.
You know? But when it comes to like, this is life, you know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong. Like we said, we do this because we enjoy doing this, but I've seen it more times than not. Consistency is the key.
Right.
You know what I mean? So eventually this could end up being life. And if motherfuckers aren't prepared for it to be big league, what are you even doing it for?
Why are you here? No, I'm
right.
That makes sense.
Move out the way for somebody that really wants to do it. And listen, when it comes down to it, I'm just a genius and I'm a very humble guy. But
the voice of a generation.
You know what I mean? Let's be honest. Like, I don't want to toot our own horn. Our views may not be there, but we're showing motherfuckers it's not as hard as it looks.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, motherfuckers got their own gear and everything. Like, it's not as hard as it looks. Inspire a motherfucker to really do something. Just show love for it.
Right. Well, and on top of that, like, that goes back to the kind of the mentality that we've had, which is, if you're interested in doing this shit, hit us up. Like, if nothing else, we're willing to introduce you to the audience, and you can get a feel for what you want. And my whole thing is mutually beneficial relationships, right? Where, hey, if you don't want to like invest, what's that?
I said you said that. Fools agree on that. Mutually beneficial relationships.
Which at the end of the day for like this space is, hey, we're willing to have you on as long as you promote us and we'll promote you. Like, if you're not willing to hop on a podcast and like at minimum do a social media post for us, then whatever. Like, we'll probably still have you on, but like, if you're willing to like hop on and also promote what we're doing, we have no problem returning the favor. And if you're looking to get started, this is a good way to get to dip a toe in the water.
Listen, I'm 10 toes deep.
Right.
I'm 10 toes deep, baby. I'm on podcast overtime.
You're running
my
like
second
3 or 4 a week.
Listen, no, I do.
You got 3. You got 3 weekly.
3 a week.
Which, I mean, 3 out of 7 ain't bad. You get to 4, you're gonna be busy.
I'm not against it.
No, and that's been my thing. Like, the people that have come on that said they wanted to start their own thing, like, happy to help you get started, as long as you're willing for that to be a 2-way street.
Right.
Like, that's where I'm like, I will help.
Oh you. No, I don't necessarily want to come on anybody's podcast that starts, but I understand what you're saying as far as like the production or not the promotion goes.
Yeah.
And you know what, that we'll talk about that in post, but I had some ideas about that too that I wanted to talk to you about if you had a second or two.
And my whole thing too is talking like in the situations where people are interested in starting their own show but they're not sure how to get started, like, start with us, low cost, low risk, and if you don't like it, You jump out, no big deal. You do like
Right.
it and you want to spin off and do your own thing, then let's just cross promote and be fine. Like that's my take on it. But
Listen, it is what it is. Motherfuckers just trying to what they say. I'm just a squirrel trying to get a nut, motherfucker.
right. Well, I mean, at the end of the day, like if you are actually interested in doing this, like that's my big litmus test is if you're actually interested in doing this, it's not that hard. But if you just want to understand it better, then great. Talk to us. Happy to help. And happy to help you get started, but that tells me real quick on how serious you are too. And we've had that talk about, people that we engage with regularly in the network as well. And I think I've seen some changes in behaviors on that front, which is great. But there are also ones where I'm like, yeah, I didn't think that was going to pan out.
Listen, you already know how that goes. But I mean, listen, this is a trial and error.
Definitely.
A free agency style thing.
I mean, honestly, it's the Dana White thing. I pick the ones that want to be there.
Listen, and like we said, this is the best. I'm sorry this for the last little second to promote, but this is the best one because Mike got all the emails up and everything. Oh, I'm sorry, we're off. But what's the email? Foolproof Entertainment at gmail.com. I remember that motherfucker. Hey, we building.
No
but
doubt.
With that being said, motherfuckers is recruiting. Hit the Showers is not fully staffed by no means.
Yeah, I mean, I just threw you two names, and I think they're interested in certain sports, not necessarily in what's going on right now. But
they don't respond to fucking messages.
You're not wrong. But I actually think that if the season were different, they would probably be more up for it. And I think that that's also kind of the intent with the way you've structured it.
We're going to have some changes, though. We're going to have some changes by, not necessarily changes, of course, but like we said, the NFL, I do expect you to be on a lot.
Especially when we get to like doing Tuesday shows. I think I can work that out. Yeah.
Callie will be on there. I know Malk will be on there.
But I also don't want to, and I don't know what Britt's schedule is, but Britt, as much as I butted heads with her on the one episode we were on together,
that's the best
she's awesome.
part.
Right, exactly. Like, I love it. Like, come at me.
Her and Pops did on the last episode. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that. That was a good one.
Oh, man.
But listen,
well, one of these days we got to do like kind of your point around like bonus content. Just set up the camera outside while we're watching one of the fights over the summer.
Oh, we could do that. That's nothing.
No, it is nothing. And like I could run it all from the laptop or whatever, and just set up one of the cameras.
We should probably schedule it all around that same time.
Yeah.
Like around when because I gotta have Aaron gotta come up, and he said just let him know in advance the time, and as long as he ain't working.
Is there anything scheduled for like mid-July, early July right now?
That's exactly what that's the exact time I was thinking. Nothing that I know of. Well, of course, it would have to be after the 4th of July and all that, not because of the 4th, but I got nephews' birthdays and shit.
Gotcha.
For that weekend, so I wouldn't be available. But the weekend after that, I wouldn't be against it. The only thing is I need to figure out, there's enough parks and shit that we can film.
Yeah.
I don't want to worry about bringing camera equipment into a place.
I hear you.
Because and they've got to ask, is it okay type shit? At least if we're at a park, fuck y'all, it's public.
Right. No, I hear you on that. Well, and that's when I think about something like Wolf or Nelson or...
And that's not an issue. As long as they got a hoop, a field, we might not even have to go to the back.
There you go.
I would like to, though. We ain't going to have enough people to do. That's why it might have to be a field day. We're going to have to invite people that just ain't involved to come out.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about that off the air, and we can lay out some plans there.
Right.
All right. Well, sir, I mean, it's a little shy of our usual time, but this is also a holiday special. It's also during the week.
Oh yeah, it's Memorial Day. Happy to all the serve, the lost,
all the fallen.
Yeah, all that. Love them all. Appreciation beyond belief.
No doubt. And with all of that, thank you for joining us tonight. As always, do us a favor, like, share, subscribe, follow us on Apple Podcasts, subscribe on Apple Podcasts, subscribe on YouTube, join the Facebook page, all that good shit. And we appreciate y'all.
Cliff, all right, fool, motherfuckers. We love y'all. Love everybody. Love everybody.
Peace out, foes.
Even the aliens.
Aliens and shit.
Love them all. Give them love.